Good evening. Welcome to the Tuesday, May 14th, 2013 City of Griffin Commission meeting, and what a wonderful audience we have tonight. We welcome you, and we encourage your if you want to be involved in it in any way, we appreciate that, but more than anything, we do like having a full house. Thank you. Our first order of business will be the invocation by Commissioner Holberg and our pledge to the flag by Commissioner McLemore. Please stand.
Let's bow our heads, please. Father, we're here today to ask for your blessings and guidance in the performance of our duties as elected officials. We pray for strength, love, knowledge, and understanding. Help us to recognize and solve the problems that are presented. Make our solutions fair and just to the best interest of everyone. Help us to overcome our shortcomings and keep us united as a team to work for the betterment of the city and its people. We pray in your name. Amen.
Please join me for the pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Chair.
Yes.
I move we amend the agenda by adding item number 26, and I quote, acknowledge service of petition from Cedric West and waive further service regarding 2008 offense of shoplifting.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to amend the agenda to include item number 26. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Okay, it is unanimous. Thank you. All right, our first order of business tonight is to recognize Carol Rainwater of the Planning and Development Services Department as the April 2013 Strongest Link Award recipient. Taurus Freeman, our Director of Development Services, will make the presentation.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Carol Rainwater has done a tremendous job in my 1 year here with the city. Her track record is impeccable. I knew about her before I started, and everything I was told has remained true. She is one of our first responders to any and all complaints, and one of the last people to receive any type of praise. She offers tremendous experience as being a member of a certified code enforcement officer, and by her holding her position, she has connected with the community as well as done all the tasks that has been given to her. She doesn't complain often. She doesn't get stressed, luckily for the pills. And she does a tremendous job. She has had a tremendous amount of adversity within the past year dealing with her husband, and she has supported him as well as remained true to her duties with the city of Griffin. And with that, I present Carol Rainwater, this month's Strongest Link.
Right.
And her husband is here tonight. Her family is here as well tonight.
Well, get them to stand and be recognized.
Speech. While we're waiting on the family, Carol, I'd like to say thank you for a wonderful job. We really appreciate you.
Well, you're very welcome.
And I would too, because I know I've sent you into some rough conditions to look at things, and you're fearless. You walk into stuff that I go armed at only.
Well, yes, you have. Next time I'm going to come get you and take you with me.
Carol, you know I appreciate your hard work and all that you do, and the message we got this week was evidence of the fact that, you know, you just stick with it, and you did, and we thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Would you introduce your family?
I will. This is my husband, Joe, my son,
Hi.
Jordan. I have a daughter back here hiding somewhere, Jennifer.
Hi.
And this is my grandson, Ian and Owen. And this is my motivation for doing what I do. And my husband probably should have a chain. He gets more warnings than anybody in the city of Griffin. And I thank y'all very, very much. I'm very humbled by this. It is actually an effort of teamwork. I've had many good teachers throughout these last 8 years. And it's just, I don't think there's a department in the city that has not helped me along the way, and I thank y'all very much.
Well, we're appreciative of you.
Thank you.
Next, we will recognize Mr. Eddie Bogan, Certification Manager for the Griffin Police Department, on the third recertification by the Commission on Accreditation for Law Enforcement Agencies, the CALEA Group, and Chief Frank Strickland will address. Eddie's gaining weight. You're getting fat and sassy, aren't you?
Oh, my goodness. That's okay, he's got on the right coat. That's right. This is our third award.
It is.
This is our advanced award, because apparently after you get the first two, it becomes advanced, a certificate of advanced certification. And we got this effective the 18th day of November 2012. It runs for 3 years. Our first award ran for 5 years, and then they changed it to every 3 years. So this is our third, and Eddie did an excellent job, and they just keep getting better and better every time we go through them. I think we had 12 file maintenance issues, which is a piece of paper that had to be changed in some sort of fashion or whatever, out of 480 standards. So it shows our compliance. It shows that we're running the police department by national standards. And Eddie has done an excellent job, and this is our third award, and I hope we'll both be here for the fourth.
Well, I just want to say a few words. I appreciate working for the city. I enjoy doing this here just to prove that the city of Griffin have a police department that they can be proud of, that we, pride ourselves on following standards that have been approved, not just nationally, but internationally by the accreditation agency. And it proves that, hey, we walk the walk, we can talk the talk as well.
Congratulations, Eddie, and I know how hard that you've worked through these years, and I appreciate your continued hard work.
And may I say something, Eddie, because some people might think this is a paperwork exercise to meet some goal, but I've seen the actual professionalism in the police force in my tenure over these years grow and grow, and I know it's because they're meeting the spirit of this, just not the paper end of it. And I get numerous compliments about our policemen on the job. People tell me they are so professional and so nice. I was impressed. So I think it's because they take this to heart. So thank you.
Yes, they do. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Next, we're going to recognize Jack Goodman, Line Crew Supervisor for the Electric Department for 30 years of service with the city, and Todd Harris, and I'll never believe that Todd's been here 25 years, he's not old enough, Corporal Police for 25 years of service to the city of Griffin. Chief and Bill Bosch will make the presentation.
Well, as they say in Duck Dynasty, get up here, Jack. He goes by Jack. He goes by Lee, so and I'm sorry for the Duck Dynasty. Lee's here for a 30-year award, and as I tried to think of something to write down to say, one thought came to mind. Lee is only 48 years old, and he's here for a 30-year award. I mean, heck, you still got 7 years before you can even retire. And then I look at the city, and Lee's not the only one that I see this from. We have so many employees that have been here since a very young age, and I want to congratulate Lee and all the employees of the City of Griffin that give that type of commitment, and Lee's just a very special person. He's a line supervisor for us now. He started in the street department back when you were 18. And I assume Brant was here at that time. We're so lucky to have Lee, and I'm going to step back and let the people that. I mean, I know Lee, but and it's dear to my heart, but I'm going to let Mr. Blackman say a few words.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'd just like to say that Lee's the type person that you can call 2 o'clock in the morning if you got a pole broke, or if you broke down on the side of the road in your personal vehicle. He's the type of person that, you know, once you get to know him, he's a friend for life. And I appreciate him. I really do. Thank you, Lee. I appreciate it.
Appreciate it. 30 years, it don't seem like it's been that long.
I know it.
But I've met a lot of good friends. I got a lot of good friends here with the city, and I've enjoyed working at 30, and I got a few more to go. But I've enjoyed it, and I don't see myself doing other than that. So, thank you.
All right, at this time, Chief Strickland will recognize Todd Harris.
Thank you, thank you. Todd? And Todd has his family with him as well.
Wonderful.
If you want to bring them on up, I think that's a good thing. Todd's been here since March the 6th, 1988, and over that 25 years, Todd has served in uniform patrol. He has served as a resource officer at the Griffin High School for many, many years. That's what he was doing when I got here. And he's a corporal in investigations at this time in the property crime section. He's an excellent investigator, and I think that's based on the experience that he has and what he's learned over the years. And got a letter the other day, just the other day before we got this, and I forwarded it to Kenny. And it was from an assistant DA in the Griffin Judicial Circuit, and she was talking about how good he was at his job, his ability to testify in court, and what an excellent job he had done on his case that was going in front of a jury. And he got a conviction, and she was ecstatic about his experience level and his ability to handle a courtroom. And I'm proud of him, and I'm proud of what he's done, and he's a fairly young man as well. As a matter of fact, he is a little one. But anyway, we're proud to have Todd, and he's gave us an excellent 25 years, and I hope he does another 25.
Amen. Very good.
I'd just like to thank the board, Mr. Smith, and especially Chief Strickland for giving me the opportunity to do what I love. I don't think of this as a paycheck. I wouldn't call it a job. I just love doing it, and that's what I've been doing. I hope I'm not here 25 more years. I've struggled for 25, so I'll take about 10. Give me 10 more, and I'll be all right.
Introduce your family for us, Todd.
This is my wife, Kelly. That's my little girl, Marley. I have another daughter that's in college at Georgia Southern, and I have an 18-year-old son that he's 18. He's somewhere. I just appreciate the opportunity to work for the city.
We
Thank you very
appreciate
much.
your good work,
Yes,
and we know that you'll continue. That's continuity is very important.
Well, I can't beat him. I'm 47, for 25 years. He's stuck around for 30 years, and he's a year older, so that's pretty good. I hope I can do that myself. But thank y'all.
We thank you. Beautiful little girl in there. We're losing our audience.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's yours.
We have another recognition. We're going to recognize Steel Branch Regional Reservoir Water Treatment Plant employees on the Plant of the Year Award for surface water, 9.0-14.99 million gallons a day from the Georgia Association of Water Professionals. Dr. Keller will address, and I think he has a guest with him.
For once, I'm not going to do a lot of talking. I do want to say that it's taken 5 years since we opened up the reservoir to get this award, being new, and this staff here is responsible. The person that here is tonight is, I've been knowing Jack for a long time. He worked for EPD, and he's been our director for centuries. You can tell by his gray hair. But he's actually going to do the presentation, and I just want to say thanks to this staff because the other thing I'll say about the staff too, of all my staff, we track through effective utility management program. This staff is the youngest staff we have, and this staff in this day and age, with their average number of days of sick leave taken for the entire year, they're the lowest of all my divisions and units, and they're a team out in the middle of nowhere, obviously 27 miles away. So that means we don't have to watch them, and they're the most effective we have on sick leave use. Jack.
Thank you. If I could just say a word about the Georgia Association of Water Professionals first. We're an organization of some 4,000 water professionals, people that run water and wastewater treatment facilities, the engineers, and in a lot of cases elected officials. We have attorneys. We even allow attorneys in our association. Anybody involved with providing safe drinking water and protecting our water resources through wastewater treatment, stormwater management is involved with our association. We were formed in 1932. Brant was one of our charter members, I think.
Rub it in.
Around the world, right now there are 2.4 billion people in this world that don't have access to safe drinking water. And we take it for granted here. Women and children in developing parts of the world spend their entire waking hours hauling water back and forth. And so, as a result, they never have a chance to break that cycle of poverty, to get education. They end up working like mules all day, hauling water back and forth. And we really take for granted in this country that you can go turn on the tap and know that you're going to have safe drinking water. And in my view, the drinking water professionals in the state are as responsible for the quality of life that we enjoy in this country as anybody. So I guess the message I would give you is, every time you see a water professional, give them a hug, because they help you every day, whether you know it or not. Your all's facility has been in existence for 5 or 6 years now. As Brant says, you finally won the award, but we don't give the award for bells and whistles. We give it for great operation. And these guys, the competition that they're up against is just unbelievable. The criteria are very strict, and the first one is that they have to provide safe drinking water every day. They have chance after chance after chance, literally thousands of chances a year to violate their permit. And the first criterion for participating in this program is they can have absolutely no violations. This facility has had no violations in over 5 years, which is remarkable. It's a credit to the folks that you see back here who operate the facility, but it's also a credit to the management of the city and to you as the city council. They couldn't do their job without you giving them the support that you give them, the resources that you give them. So this is really a recognition and a celebration for the entire city of Griffin. And it's my pleasure to present the award for outstanding operation of a water treatment plant in the category of surface water, 9 to 15 million gallons per day, the City of Griffin's Steel Branch Reservoir Water Treatment Plant.
introduce the crew to us, Brent.
Ma'am?
Introduce your crew to us.
No, come on, Joe. He says he doesn't like public speaking. You show up, and we're gonna introduce you. This is our deputy director. I like to throw people underneath the bus, because I told him he was gonna do this tonight. And he's making his first public speech in Savannah in about a month.
Yeah. Well,
Now, what's Joe's last name?
Johnson.
I'm sorry.
We're glad to have you, Joe.
Okay. Thank you. Well, seeing you said that, he's worked in the private consulting industry for a couple of years, and he worked for Paulding County, and we stole him away from Paulding County, and so he's our deputy director. He's an engineer in 2 states, and he has also a degree in construction management. He's a rather bright individual, and we're looking forward to him to be here for a while.
We're glad to have you on board.
It was a pleasure. One of the best moves I could ever done was come to the city of
All right.
Griffin.
And you work for a gentleman who's got a master's in public recreation, I think.
Well, in Paulding County, where I came from, we didn't have a water treatment facility, but when I came to the city of Griffin and started dealing with all the different facilities here, I knew something special was with the people of Steel Branch, and it's been an honor, it's been a pleasure, and I can honestly say I learned more from them than they do from me. So you got Matt Jones here, Mike Melton is the superintendent, Ben Till is the assistant, and then Garrett Norden is operator. So they're truly a great team that we have working for us.
Thank you. Okay, all the fun's over now. We got to do financials. Review financials for March 2013, and Marcus Schwab will address it. Good evening, Marcus.
Thank you for that.
Are you going to make
wonderful-
this fun?
Sure. How much fun do you want to have with financials? Okay, first up, cash balance report. Just a couple items of note here is, if we look at the police and the technology and the court technology funds, those monies that are accumulating there will be transferred over to the general fund to finish the payment for the OSSI system, and then that's done. And then from here on out, beginning with the 14 budget, those funds are reserved and earmarked for future technology related to the police and court. K-9 unit has a balance of around $20,000, though we've done an extensive reconciliation at this point, and next month you're going to see that number drop to about $2,000. There were several transactions that processed through that over the last 2 years. We're now finally catching up and cleaning that balance up, so there'll be about $2,000 left in the K-9 unit. Beyond that, I don't have anything else. Do you have any other questions on the cash side? Okay.
Any questions from any of you?
Next up, local option sales tax. As you can see here, we're tracking pretty well, and we're scheduled for about just shy over $3.5 million on the local option sales tax.
That's really good.
Which on the SPLOST, however, that's exactly the opposite because of the bond payments that are due. So we've already projected a decrease there of about 8%, 8 to 12, Brant, somewhere in that neighborhood. So we've realigned those projects.
Okay.
All right. Next up is a list of those projects under the SPLOST, and you can see the status of funding and where we are, expenses incurred to date through April 2013.
May we ask Brent something, since
Yes.
it's got signals on here? I'm getting a lot of questions about the North Expressway, Brent. What is the status of all of the red lights up there?
By DOT standards, they have to let them, they call it black bag, and once they get the blacktop down, all the markings on the road and stuff, they will actually activate the lights. But as far as the timing is concerned, depends on how fast they lay asphalt. Right now, they're still moving pipes and utilities and what have you. So I really couldn't give you a good answer. This rain's trying to put it behind about a month.
Right, and the city of Griffin is having to bear this expense, aren't we?
No, that's a DOT project.
Oh, it is?
The only expense that we're involved in that project right now is utility relocation, and we completed hardship on that, so we got a 50%, Bill and I got a 50% break on that, if we didn't have the resources, so he's got 50%, I got, but that's the only money that, well, we got the taxpayer, we got money in there, but it's not all the money.
All right, and all three lights will be working? I mean, are they gonna shut down one of the intersections?
They're moving the light to a new intersection in front of the Super Walmart. You see it up there now on the mast and all over the ramp post. And once they do that, and they get everything in place, then they'll actually operate. But by black tagging it, what they do is they kind of give you a public notice that something's changing.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Next up would be the interim statements by fund. Do we have any questions about the revenue and expense? Obviously, revenues are clicking in where we need to be and holding a little bit back on our expenditures. Capital is pretty much close to getting wrapped up.
You're tracking well.
Yes.
And then, any questions on that? Last but not least, the revenue status report. I know this is a popular one.
Yeah.
Jake reads it every night.
Before he goes to bed.
He does.
I guess the only thing that stands out here are 2 points that were brought up, 3 points that were brought up by Mr. Smith earlier today. One is the tracking of the property tax revenues, and that's pretty much on target for the 3.9. The other one are is the license and permits, which we're expecting a little bit better result there. And then the last one would be the fines and forfeitures, which, based on the fact that the cameras were down for a while, the revenues have slipped a little bit, so that's echoing into the forecasts.
Any questions? Okay. Sounds good. Thank you, Marcus.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, we now will go into citizen comments. At this time, I'll open the floor for comments from the audience. Comments should relate to a specific agenda item not listed on the agenda for a public hearing or to a concern within the jurisdiction of the city. Commission meetings serve the purpose of conducting city business and are not a forum for the unlimited expression of opinions. The chairperson reserves the right to limit comments to matters germane to city business and may refer speakers to the city manager or other staff for resolution. Having said that, is there anyone on my left who would like to come forward and make a citizen comment? On my right, is there anyone who would like to come forward? If not, then we have no public hearings this evening, so we'll go into our consent agenda.
Chair, I guess we'll have to break these up because we had an absence
Right.
too. So I'll start off. I move that we approve the minutes of the joint workshop on April 9th.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve the minutes of the joint workshop on April the 9th. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. We do have a motion and a second. Is everyone raising their right hand?
Oh,
That one was there.
You weren't there?
I wasn't there.
Okay, so those that were there.
403, I think.
403, thank you. All right, item number 7.
And I believe everybody was present for the next two.
Oh, no, right, we still
So I move we approve the minutes of the workshop and the regular meeting on April 23rd as presented, unless correct.
Second.
Okay.
Wait, are we taking the regular meeting with that?
Yeah, that's what he said.
Yeah,
Both of them.
we weren't here for the workshop.
Oh, I
wasn't.
beg your pardon, I'm mistaken. All right,
Okay.
let me start over again. Cancel all that. I move we approve the minutes of the workshop on April 23rd as presented.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor or who are here, please raise your right hand. Okay,
I'm
so
sorry,
it's
I missed that. Okay.
still 4
5.
or 5?
Five.
Well, you were here, she here.
Five.
Okay.
No, I wasn't here. For the workshop.
All right, 403.
All right, and then last but not least, I move we approve the minutes of the scheduled meeting of April 23rd.
Second motion.
All right, we have a motion and a second for the regular meeting minutes. Everyone was here. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. All right, it is unanimous. Thank you.
And for no objections, I'll take 7 and 8 at once.
All right, do y'all have any objection if we take 7 and 8 together?
All right, I move that we approve on second and final reading, amendment of the Unified Development Code of the City of Griffin, signs section 1214 with respect to regulation of signs by land use emerging corridor. And number 8, consider second and final reading of an ordinance amending the Code of Griffin, Chapter 94, Utilities, Article 9, Easement Acquisition Policy, Section 94-376, by deleting the present code in its entirety and enacting a new Section 94-376, eliminating the 20% multiplier in paragraph B.
All right, you've heard the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to vote on items 7 and 8 together. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Okay, it is unanimous. Thank you. All right, we'll now go into our regular agenda. Item number 9 is to consider a request to name the city pool complex Zenobia Hood Kennebrew City Pool. City Manager Kenny Smith will address.
We have in your packet a request for the naming of city pool, and you have a petition there with several signatures on it. I think there are about 400 altogether. So if it's your pleasure.
Right, and this is a request that was presented to us from Rosalind Payne. Mrs. Kennebrew was a long-term employee of the city, and she was a former school teacher, but she worked 20 years for the city at the Griffin City Pool. She is now deceased, and her family wanted to honor her, and especially with her service to the city of Griffin. That is why we have this request. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve.
All right, we have a motion to approve. Do we have a second? All right, a motion and a second. All those in favor, please raise your right hand.
Wait, I got some discussion.
Oh, I know you do. I'm sorry. We'll have discussion by Cora, so she won't have to do it afterwards.
Okay. Normally, I have to vote against it simply because we're naming it after somebody else. However, Ms. Kennebrew babysat inadvertently almost everybody in Griffin who went swimming at the pool. And since I plan on going swimming in the pool this summer, I just feel obligated. I feel like I'm gonna drown if I don't do it.
Put a contract out on you.
You know, I'm very against naming anything after anybody, but I can't tell you how many days it was okay for somebody's mom to drop you off at the pool for hours and you didn't have to worry because you knew Miss Kennebrew was going to watch everybody. So for people who didn't have babysitters or there wasn't anything for us to do in the summer, you could go to the pool because parents felt okay knowing that Miss Kennebrew was over there and everything was going to be all good. So she was a city employee, so I can to myself justify that it's still kind of keeping in it, even though she was way more than just a city employee at the pool. So I just want y'all to know I'm a vote, but I'm torn simply because I don't want to name anything after anybody, but I can't not do this.
I will say.
And you don't know how hard this is for her.
I'm sweating.
Well, I will say that this is a different case in that before we were asked to take somebody's name off to replace it, and this is an unnamed pool, which makes it easier to consider, I think.
Right, and I wish our pool were in beautiful, pristine condition. That's the only drawback that I have is because it's so old, but she spent her years there and she loved it no matter what kind of condition it was in. All right, are any other comments? All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Okay, it is unanimous. Thank you. Item number 10. Consider approval to declare City of Griffin out of life cycle IT equipment surplus and sell through GovDeals online auction service.
Make a motion to approve.
Have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, a motion and a second. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Okay, it is unanimous. Thank you. Item number 11, consider approval to amend the general fund operating budget for fiscal year 2013 in the amount of $12,100 in order to cover costs incurred in fiscal year 2013 for materials and items associated with the archivist position.
I move we approve with a comment.
All right, we have a motion to approve with comment. Do we have a
I'll
second?
second it.
All right, we have a motion and a second.
If you haven't had a chance to meet Cindy Barton, the archivist, she's a lovely lady. She is part-time, as you know, and she is actively soliciting materials from all the different groups around Griffin. So please get to know Cindy. She's usually there now on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. But her email is archivist with an S, at cityofgriffin.com.
Right. I was surprised by the amount of the materials, the cost of the materials. When we voted on that position, nothing was said to us about having to, stock it. Of course, you have to stock it in order to be able to do the job.
I think we had some computer issues that came up. Taurus's.
Yeah, Taurus, would you mind addressing that?
Yes, ma'am. As you know, the position is very new for the city of Griffin. In looking at the materials that we had available at the school site, it was not very much. So to be successful, she needed these necessary resources for us to build our archives to be something that would be respected over the duration of the years. So these items are not very uncommon for this type of position, and staff request that it is approved.
What items?
We have items
They were
for...
listed, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's listed in there.
We have items in office supplies, operating supplies, as well as small tools and equipment.
I just heard somebody say something about computers.
What,
I think she need a scanner from prison.
yeah. So what hours is she working now?
She works normally 20 hours a week.
No, but I mean, what days, in case someone wants to go by and visit with her?
Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, she's normally at the archives. Right now, she is temporarily housed in our planning and development offices until her computer is installed and she has a phone line. So
she's upstairs?
That is correct.
Okay.
So she comes there some days and check her email as well as do any type of items that is needed on the computer. And then she quickly goes to the site.
Okay. Well, you can't do a job without your supplies. I know that for a fact. So, any other comments? All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Okay, it is unanimous. Thank you. Item number 12, consider awarding a bid and construction contract to lowest and best bidder, Davidson Hydrant and Utility Services, for the relocation of a 12-inch water main at the bridge on Maple Drive in the amount of $52,742.
Make motion approved.
All right, we have a motion to approve. Do we have a second? A motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Okay, it is unanimous. Thank you. Item number 13, consider the purchase of a prefabricated bridge from Contech Engineered Solutions for the bridge on Maple Drive in the amount of $90,850.
I move we approve. I have a question.
All right, motion to approve with a question. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, motion and a second. Yes.
This prefab bridge, is this pre-stressed concrete pieces that fit together? Or what are the...
Pre-stress on the head walls, and then it's engineered galvanized steel and aluminum on the interior.
So it's delivered in all the parts, like a rector set you put together?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
So this is going to be for the walk around, or is this going to be for the cars to drive over?
This is for both.
For both?
The bridge, the head walls, when we go through the construction, there'll be a 5-foot section on the exterior of the head wall with an abutment coming up the side and there'll be sometime to be determined in the future. If we extend sidewalks down there, we'll tie into the existing infrastructure.
But it'll be like a slant. It won't be steps. It'll just the bridge.
Right.
Okay.
You're going to drive straight across it and walk across it eventually, maybe.
Okay. All right. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Okay. It is unanimous. Thank you. Item number 14, consider for approval to award Brent Scarborough and Company Incorporated work request in the amount of $19,880 for the connection of 260 linear feet of 8-inch water main on Georgia Highway 1941 and amend the budget accordingly. Got the bridge on my mind. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion to approve.
All right, do we have a second?
Second.
All right, a motion and a second to
May I make a
approve. Any
comment?
comments?
Yes, I'm going to recuse myself. I have nothing to do with this company, but Mr. Scarborough and I are in partnership with owning a building in another adventure, so I'll just stay out of it.
Okay, we appreciate you reviewing that. Any other comments? All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Okay, 601. Is that right, Doug?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Item number 15, consider first reading of an ordinance establishing an environmental council and amending the Code of Griffin, Georgia at Chapter 98, Vegetation, Article 2, fees to allow the Environmental Council to function in lieu of the tree board.
Make a motion to approve.
All right, we have a motion to approve.
Second.
All right, is there any discussion?
This is discussion.
Yeah, you want to ask about it?
Yeah, and I think I talked to Ryan, and Ryan said it about the tree board is going to be disbanded. Will we
Right.
reappoint people?
To this committee, will it be by district again?
It wouldn't be by district, it'd be reappointment just like all the other boards.
Oh, it will be, will
Yeah,
it be
you
staggered
put in your
terms?
application, staggered terms, yeah, and then you take the application and decide.
I didn't hear that.
It is not by district.
It's 42.3.
It's open, just like the other boards.
Oh, okay, not by districts. I didn't catch that. Okay. So if anybody wants to be on it, they apply.
That's correct, just like all the other
Citywide.
boards.
Is there a reason?
What we're doing is combining two boards because we can't get enough people to show up. By doing this, you only have to go through one board versus two because you have the watershed council and you have the tree board. James Moore has put this program together, and we've, all of a sudden, since we've done this, have actively picked up some very interested people in serving on these positions. So once we get established, we'll bring them to you for y'all to vote on when they submit. And we have to read this twice before we can go out for submittal. But we
Right.
actually have about 8 applicants already willing to apply for the position that can do things in the community. And while we're here, let me highlight the things that we're looking at. This will help Phil towards what we call sustainable living as far as recycling. One of the committee's goals is to see that we do hit the 25% on the recyclables. We have a tree, obviously we'll have somebody specifically interested in trees. We have another person that's interested in water. We have somebody in landscape design. But what we're trying to do is bring everything together into the 21st century, and their main target is to look at projects to present to you or to review so that we actually have a functioning role rather than trying to get a quorum to each one of these meetings and nobody show up. So we're
Right.
trying to take a new approach, and this way, anybody that wants to serve, instead of y'all having to try to drag somebody in January, can apply for it, and then y'all can vote on the 7 peoples.
So the people on the tree board now will
They'll be
remain
dissolved.
to the next year?
No, they'll be through, upon the reading of this ordinance, they'll be,
At the end of May.
they'll be in limbo there for a little bit, and then sometime in July, we'll be able to present you with a list of candidates.
So we just gonna get rid of those people in midstream?
Oh, they want to be gone.
Not the ones that...
Well, there's only, I mean, they can't get a quorum. They said they don't feel like they're functioning if they can't vote on something.
Well, you talk to everybody on the tree board and they agree with that?
As far as disbanding the tree board, they're all in favor of moving forward. Nobody's...
Well, the person that I nominated is concerned about there's not enough meetings. She want to attend meetings. She keep inquiring about meetings.
It's good that you apply for this new board.
Well, then they got certain qualifications.
Well, I don't think they really had, that was one of the things they had talked about initially, was having preferred qualifications. I think they pretty much dropped that. So it's open. I think the comment is more towards the people who don't really want to be on tree board or don't have a great interest are not going to be, and I believe at least you can correct me, everybody who had that interest to remain will have a slot available.
Everybody who has that interest.
And the other thing also is one of the 7 groups or the 7 appointees will have subcommittees where other people can also get involved that are specifically interested in that related topic. So it'll be 7 folks overall, but it'll be more than 7 people because there'll be a committee on sustainability for recycling, and there'll be obviously 3 or 4 people that are interested in trees that will be on that committee. So hopefully when it's all said and done, we'll probably have in the neighborhood of 20 to 25 people between the board and the subcommittees that they're working on.
So I'm to contact the person that I nominated and tell them that they're no longer on the board and they have to reapply?
Well, they should know if they've been to
Well,
the
I mean,
meeting.
they have meetings and they don't have meetings. They show up for meetings and nobody's there.
Well, the meetings
anything done.
are scheduled every month, the first Monday of the month.
Yeah, I mean, they've had the meeting every month. I mean, it's been there.
Saying
The
nobody's
question
been
not
there.
whether or not they could take action, but if it showed up every month, this has been going on for
Almost 12 months.
almost a year that they've been talking about this consolidation. I think you tell the person I don't think they will have any problem being on this board as far as the desire to participate. I think ultimately we dissolve the boards, put the name in the book, and I have a feeling it's going to pretty much match the number of board members that are available for this.
What about, you don't have the city commissioner representative on this board?
No, because they're going to be making recommendations to the city commission.
So that would be almost like a conflict.
A matter of fact, the only person that's tied to the city is myself or designee. They are acting basically like y'all are here.
And this, after we vote, you'll be here during commission comments, because I'm getting a lot of inquiries about the corner of Pine Valley and Maple. The old Callaway property where there's a dead tree or whatever, everything's just piled in the corner there. We need to do something about that.
I'd have to go take a look at it. I mean,
I think the tree was dead and it was cut. I'm not sure if the city cut it or there was somebody living in that house for a while. But they stacked it up as close to the corner of the right-of-way as they could. Nobody's just picked it up.
Well, the tree is so large, the root and...
It wasn't a city tree, that was a...
Yeah.
It was probably in the yard, I
Private
expect.
property tree, and they cut it down, and what they put on the right of way, we picked up as yard waste, and the rest of it's in their yard, so it's the property owner's
Well,
responsibility to have
it's
it moved.
mighty close to the sidewalk. It's another one of these nuisance deals.
Call Carol.
But I don't know if anybody's in the house anymore. Who do you serve it to? I think sometimes just to be a good citizen, we may have to do something in a nice part of town, in any part of town, that's so very obnoxious as
I
this
think
is.
that was a foreclosure, from what I understand, and the bank finally put a tenant in there for about a month, 6 weeks, and then they left. Nobody's been there probably the last.
Right, I know,
month.
anyway, we have not voted yet, but I did want to throw that in while I was, I get a call about it every day. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Okay, it is unanimous. Thank you. Item number 16, consider approval to amend the City of Griffin's fiscal year 2012-2013 capital and operating budget for the purchase of a K-9 training suit.
Make a motion to approve.
We have a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
I want Jake to wear it. Just kidding.
All right, I didn't say that. Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Okay, it is unanimous. Thank you.
Self-respecting dog would bite me.
That's why I'm giving you shit.
That's true. Probably you are so right. Item number 17, consider approval of the timber management contract between Spalding County, City of Griffin, and Joel Vincent and Associates. Chief Frank Strickland will address.
This is a long time coming, your shooting range, Chief.
Yes, sir. We're trying to get through all the hurdles. William Wilson, the county manager, is actually ramrodding this part. We just need to approve and allow Mr. Smith to agree to sign the contract for them to let the bid for whoever's gonna go in and cut it.
Is this essentially the same as I was looking at that you briefed us on a year or so ago with the
piles of tires and all that?
Yes, sir, the tire house and the firing range, 10-lane firing range with turning targets. And hopefully at some point, we'll get a classroom in there with restrooms and heating and air and all that other stuff.
This isn't, they're gonna leave buffers and they're not gonna clear cut the entire track?
No, sir, they're not going to clear cut. There will be buffers on each side of the creek.
Okay.
And like I say, William has graciously said that he will do this. They deal with them all the time. And then the proceeds will go toward the training facility. What's not spent at the firing range will be spent with the fire department aspect of the training facility.
Okay, did we have a motion and a second?
Yes.
Who did it?
I second.
You did? All right, Mr. Holberg made the motion and Shahir seconded. All right, all those in favor, please raise your right hand. Okay, it is unanimous, thank you. Item number 18, consider an intergovernmental agreement between the City of Griffin and Spalding County for construction and operation of the Griffin-Spalding Law Enforcement Firing Range.
I move we approve.
Have a motion to approve, do we have a second?
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Okay, it is unanimous, thank you. Item number 19, consider the approval and award bid for a new fire suppression system to be installed in the IT server room to Georgia Independent Sprinklers Incorporated at a cost of $28,000.
I move we approve.
All right, we have a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
A motion and a second. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Okay, that is unanimous. Thank you. Item number 20, consider approval of work authorization number 12 between the City of Griffin and Michael Baker Jr. Incorporated Consulting Firm, formerly LPA Consulting, to provide administrative services for the acquisition via federal land acquisition regulations of a parcel of land adjacent to the Griffin-Spalding County Airport.
Make a motion to approve.
Have a motion to approve and a second. Now discussion.
Did you have a comment?
No, I didn't know if anybody had a
I'd like to know what we're, the 27,000, is that split between us and the county, or is that our portion?
No, that will be split. This is an AIP eligible item that we will be doing a reimbursement for in our next grant.
Okay, any other questions? All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Okay, it is unanimous. Thank you. Item number 21. Consider acceptance of grant agreement between the City of Griffin and the Georgia Department of Transportation to conduct Airport Improvement Project AIP APO 13-9019-29255, hereafter referred to as the Airport Improvement Program -29, for the purpose of improving the Griffin-Spalding County airport infrastructure. All right, you want to just briefly explain that?
Real quick, AIP 29 is the obstruction clearing off the end of runway 14, which is basically tree removal. Also the replacement of the leaning beacon tower of Griffin, and it'll be also some administrative services to do the previous item in part of our ALP, Airport Layout Plan Update Boundary Survey.
Make a motion to approve.
All right, we have a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, please raise your right hand. It is unanimous. Thank you. Thank you, Robert. Item number 22, consider approval to amend the City of Griffin's fiscal year 2012-2013 operating and capital budget in the amount of $225,600 for the Griffin-Spalding Airport.
I move we approve.
Have a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
All righty. Discussion? You want to explain to the audience?
Yes, this is, we were here about a month and a half ago to get additional fuel. What we have come up to is I guess the perfect storm. Normally we've been selling since 2008 about $25,000 a month in fuel sales. Last month we hit $51,000 in fuel sales. That is the combination of Terra Field being closed for the past 2 months while they do their runway extension. We've got a new jet on the airfield. The summer normal run-up for the summer months. So whereas normally we were buying 1 load of avgas and 1 load of jet fuel every 2 months, we're now almost buying 2 loads of each per month. So we're selling a lot of fuel. We had 7 in line this afternoon.
That's fantastic.
That's a good thing.
Yes, it's a very good thing. All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Okay, it is unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 23, consider a resolution of support endorsing the application by Meriwether Redevelopment 1 LLC to the Georgia Department of Community Affairs for low-income housing tax credits and/or home funds for the redevelopment of the property currently known as Meriwether Homes.
Motion to approve.
All right, we have a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please raise your right hand.
You said a long time here, that, Bob.
It is unanimous. Thank you. It's one of the few that's not been controversial, Bob. Thank you for it. All right, item number 24, consider a water sales agreement with Spalding County and the Spalding County Water and Sewerage Authority to provide treated drinking water for the Spalding County water system.
25 years, is that correct?
Yeah, city manager, who's going to address this? Dr. Keller or city manager?
Well, there's not a whole lot left to address. We've been talking about it for several months, and the county and water authority are eagerly awaiting a copy of this contract, and I told them that I would give it to them tomorrow, hopefully.
Okay, give us the specifics, what this does. What it offers them for a long-term contract and what it will cost the city.
You have in your packet a
Right.
Proposal that we're looking at the 4.88% with a cap of 20% for the markup. And of course, the amounts there are educated guesses on what the operational cost will be over the next several years. But, you know, we anticipate a very small decrease in our revenue from Spalding County based on that proposal.
It's the same proposal we discussed with the consultant.
Previous workshop.
Nothing's changed that I can see. I move we approve.
Second.
That's the way I did. Okay, Ryan, are you happy with it?
Yeah, I'm fine with it. I'll be curious to see what they come back with. I mean, this is just about submitting it to them, right?
Yeah.
I'll
Well, I
be
mean,
curious
it's
to-
our approval of it and submitting it to them. If they were to
Yeah.
approve it, it would be a done deal. It wouldn't necessarily come back to us unless they come back with,
Yeah, I probably would have gotten rid of any reference to the 4.88 or the net book value, but that's fine. It's a good starting point or ending point, depending on how you want to take it. So.
It saves them a little money, not a lot, but a little.
Okay, any other questions? All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Okay, it is unanimous. Thank you. Item number 25, remove from the table and consider a revised intergovernmental agreement between the City of Griffin, Spalding County, and the Griffin-Spalding County Airport Authority for joint funding of general aviation operations.
Make a motion to remove from the table.
All right, do we have a second?
Second.
All right, motion and a second to remove from the table. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Okay, it is unanimous. Now, do I have a motion to approve?
I move we approve.
Second.
And I guess we approved it once, sent it over. They had some words that they wanted to work on, which they did. This is about the third version, so I guess
Perfect.
they're happy. I'm happy. Everybody else is happy.
So, have they already approved this?
Yeah.
They
they
have
have
a-
not approved the final version. They gave us the recommended changes, and I think we actually meet first, so it'll go back to them.
Okay, all righty, we have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor, raise your right hand. All those opposed? All right, that's 6-1. Thank you. Item number 26, consider approval to amend the agenda, oh, whoops, we're not doing that. We are acknowledging service of petition from Cedric West and waive further service regarding a 2008 offense of shoplifting.
All right, Madam Chair.
If you go ahead and make the motion, be fine.
I move we authorize Chairperson Joanne Todd to acknowledge service of the petition and waive all further service of the same.
Second.
Is that what it reads?
I
See
will
that
agree,
on mine?
Chairman, quoted.
Oh, I don't have that. Is
And
it-
our lawyer
Oh,
is
got it. Okay, here it is.
spring-loaded to answering any questions.
Okay. All righty. Did we approve it? I mean, have you,
He's gotta
you
explain.
seconded it? Well,
Who's
go
gonna
ahead, explain it.
Well, all this is this gentleman was convicted in our municipal court back in 2008 based upon a plea of guilty. When you enter a guilty plea in any criminal or quasi-criminal case, such as an ordinance violation, you have to do so voluntarily and after having been fully advised of your rights. He's now run into some other problems with the law up in DeKalb County, apparently, in which this former conviction was to be used in aggravation of the current charges he's facing. So his criminal defense attorney has now filed what's called a petition for habeas corpus here in Spalding County Superior Court against the city, seeking to set aside the 2008 sentence on the theory that he did not know what he was doing when he represented himself in court. Now, of course, we provide indigent defense counsel for people who ask for it and indicate to the court that they are indigent. He apparently, from the record, we can determine that he did not request to have a lawyer appointed to represent him and chose to make the decision to plea out himself. We are still looking for part of the record in the case. We use a form in the court called a plea agreement in which he's getting a written notification of his rights, in which he signs saying that, yes, I understand these rights and I freely and voluntarily elect to enter this plea. The documentation itself has not yet been located. We did find a transcript of the court proceeding, of the recording of the court proceeding from back on December 4th of 2008. We've also got the computerized record of where he came to court, but we're trying to get the rest of it together in order to respond.
Okay,
And what is this part about if the court set aside the conviction, the city would be asked to refund that money?
We assumed he would ask for his money back. That was the fine he was imposed on him, which
right,
he paid.
and if we absolve it, then he would want his money back.
Well, if the Superior Court rules that in his favor,
right,
that his plea was not voluntary, then it just sets it aside, just like it never happened. So
okay,
we would not have the basis to retain his.
Does that happen very often?
Not real often, not real frequently. Yes.
Are any other questions? All right, and we have a motion and a second for me to be authorized to acknowledge service of the petition and waive all further service at this time. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. I guess I can vote on it. It's unanimous, Judy. Thank you. All right, that concludes our agenda. City Manager, any comments?
Road diet is complete. As you can tell, we're back to 2 lanes on Hill Street now. And in our next workshop, we will bring you some additional information and some projections and let you look at some options. So hopefully we can make a recommendation. Our next workshop will be kind of busy as we'll bring back the final budget for final discussion. Leanne will be here to talk to us about power costs, and I confirmed today that Mr. Joyner with the Land Bank will also be here for your request this morning. So we'll have a pretty busy discussion.
We will.
On the electric department discussion, they're going to talk about the different funds that we have and give us a definition of what, crystal clear what we have and what they're available for as well.
That's right. Transportation Committee meets tomorrow at 1:30. Comp Plan Steering Committee that was scheduled for Friday has actually been postponed until next Friday, and we'll get the word out on that. And we tentatively set June the 17th for our combined airport joint meeting, but the question came up this afternoon about a work plan, and would it possibly be ready by then, and if not, should we just wait? A business plan.
We think we can have it ready by then, but I should know the next day or two.
Would that be rushing it? I mean, I've not heard, we haven't, our meeting, we didn't have our meeting last night because of the trip up to Paul.
Now, let me just say
Let's just make sure we've got it all together.
I understand. So, we've asked LTA to do this, and they are responding with how long it will take, and we've talked back and forth of what we're looking for, and they're going to respond very quickly again with a timeline and a cost to see if that's acceptable. So we had another telephone conversation today about some questions they had, so.
Right.
I hope the next day or two we'll have an answer, and then I can answer your question.
Right, Kenny, and you say that we can find the money to pay for this?
I think we should be able to, depending on how much it costs, but yeah, we should be able to find half
Okay.
of it, and assuming the county's gonna pay half.
Right, you're hoping that the county will pay half, all right, or whatever.
William was in
You gotta-
favor during our trip,
Okay.
So we'll leave the 17th as the tentative date, because after that, we get tied up with GMA and some other things, so it would actually be July if we can't do it on the 17th. We'll hold the 17th at 10 o'clock that morning as a tentative.
All righty. Okay, thank you. Anything else?
That's all I have, no ma'am.
Drew?
I don't have anything, but I would like to say that we've completed our move over the last 2 weeks.
Good.
And now resident here in the building. Next time you're in and have a few minutes, stop by and take a look around.
Have to
We're pleased
do
to be
that.
here.
I have to do that. Don't leave, I've got something interesting to say about workforce when it comes to me. You're here?
Yeah, I do have a comment, but I can wrap it up in 4 words. Restroom at Head Park.
Okay. Sounds good. Dick, anything to say?
For those of you who haven't heard, retired Master Sergeant Gerald Edwards and I are doing a project to interview all the veterans in Griffin, Spalding County area we can find, and just a informal interview, videotape it, to give them a copy, and we're putting a copy over in the archive for ever, hopefully. So help me find all those veterans out there that might be a little quiet and hard to find. And we've done 12 of them so far. They've been fun, and I think it's a good project. It's just something we're doing on our own.
And it's kind of restricted to, is it restricted to Spalding County?
No, not necessarily. That's our primary focus, but if they live close and want to come in, we'll talk to them.
Okay, very good. All righty. Yeah, Doug?
June Jam, June 1st.
That's
It's
true.
going to be the party of the year as always. We look forward to seeing Shahir out there dancing, the rest of the kids at June 1st.
I'm going to be at this one. I won't
6-3.
be out of town.
Can I back up a minute?
Yeah.
I want everybody to understand there's no government money in this before it shows up in the newspaper.
Oh.
That archive audio history thing is, Gerald and I do now.
I thought it was about June Jam.
No, on ours, so it's a privately funded little endeavor.
Okay, very good. Ryan?
All right, I want to confirm with Dr. Keller, but June 12th is what we're looking at for when the road is actually closed. Is that pretty set in stone right now, or is, okay,
Which road?
Maple?
Oh, okay, I asked him this morning to make sure that everybody
there.
knows. It is here?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you should put a sign out there with Joanne's phone number if you've got a problem with this.
Well, Ryan shares that road with me, so.
I agree with Doug's statement.
But they just, yeah, I know, they don't know your phone number, they don't know
Chairman
it.
Collins' phone number is.
Wow.
We have ramps like the Dukes of Hazzard.
We have to tell our church that they won't be able to come to church that way.
Yeah, that's gonna be
It's gonna be tough on them.
a big work.
Oh, terrible.
You know, if we were Presbyterian, we'd think it would be God's will, but we're not, so we won't worry about predestination.
Well, if you have to take the last and go across, so the option is to replace it. Hopefully we'll meet that, the end of before school starts back. And, we'll try to, but it'll be a little.
Right, okay. Thank you. Cora?
Nothing.
We're proud of your vote tonight, by the way.
It took
I was
everything I had. And I'm gonna go home and be stressed out about it. But I don't wanna drown when I go swimming in the
Yeah, that's true.
I don't have anything.
You don't have anything. Tomorrow I have to go to Warm Springs for a meeting for the Workforce Investment Board. The Georgia Legislature passed a new bill this year called the House Bill 393, which is the Governor's Office of Workforce Development. Workforce development used to be done through the Department of Labor. And the bill calls for the chief elected official in the city and the county of 10 counties, of which we are Region 8, to go and participate. You know, we are ambivalent about committee assignments. We are elected by the people in the city to handle city business, and so we if it conflicts with an assignment that you get by virtue of being chairman of a board, then you just ignore it. Well, we have had 3 meetings. I was the chief elected official, and this year they changed the mechanism for funding the Workforce Investment Board. And it's coming down through the governor. I petitioned our legislators to please not pass it, but they didn't pay me any attention. They did it anyway, didn't even read it probably. And it says that the chief elected official will select the fiscal agent, and then the chief elected official will hold all liability for any misspent funds by third parties in the 10-county area. Well, I turned all that over to Drew because, I'm in this position by virtue of an election, and I didn't feel that I could put our city at risk by being the chief elected official. Bottom line, Drew drew me up a resignation, and I resigned as the chief elected official for the 10-county area. We have not been able, in the last 2 months, to get a quorum. The bill calls for 15 of the 20 elected officials to be present to conduct a vote. That's 15 of 20. The most we'd ever had at a meeting was 10, and that was at a Christmas party. Go figure. Anyway, we have worked hard. Right now we have 14 of 20 people, elected officials from our 10-county area, including Troup, Carroll, Coweta, Spalding, Butts, Lamar, Pike, Meriwether, and Heard counties that are the chief elected official from those 10 counties. Right now we have 14. We have 2. I'm not sure I'll be there. Again, if we don't have 15 of 20, we cannot conduct business. Now, you might say, what's the big deal? This money is all of the training for the unemployed people in Spalding County and in all the other 9 counties. $3.73 million for our county alone. And the liability would be so great when you're depending on people that you give contracts to outside your area to perform the job of training the unemployed, that it puts a scare in every elected official. They don't want to go now because they're afraid that they somehow will be selected to be the chief elected official. The fiscal agent, the chief elected official selects the fiscal agent. I asked the city of Griffin if they would consider being the fiscal agent, because I would gladly have been signed the affidavit that I would be responsible. But it would have meant that the city of Griffin would have to take on 26 employees, new employees, even though they would be reimbursed the money, and have more, and then a 3 to 4 month indoctrination period where you're learning the program that is going to be conducted. The only entity that passed a resolution to be the fiscal agent, they were made a presentation by the governor's office, is our Three Rivers Regional Commission. They cannot assume the responsibility of the fiscal agent until we get a chief elected official. So tomorrow, y'all cross your fingers that there will be 15 chief elected officials in Warm Springs, and we can put this behind us. I thank Drew and Kenny and Marcus and Chuck Olmstead for all the work that we've done in the last 4 months, but it's a tough situation. It's one of these bills that the Georgia legislature wrote that put responsibilities on local elected officials, and they really have no control over us. It's the long arm of government coming down to try to control things on the local level. Having said that, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All right, second? All right, we are adjourned.